What actually happens when an internet music phenomenon, who accumulated tens of millions of listeners from behind a studio microphone, suddenly makes the most daring decision of her entire life. For years, millions of eyes across every corner of the globe knew this artist only through climbing view counts on digital platforms. Her soaring yet calm and powerful voice had accompanied millions of people in their quietest moments. But behind that warm smile and seemingly flawless studio recordings, a massive plan was being quietly engineered in complete secrecy. The year 2026 finally bore witness to the single biggest announcement ever to leave her lips, a piece of news that instantly shook the walls of London's district and sent shockwaves through the independent music industry. If people previously assumed she was merely another online cover singer comfortable in the digital realm, what she just openly revealed will reshape everyone's perspective forever. This journey is anything but an overnight success story achieved without sacrifice. The modern music industry is notoriously brutal toward young talents emerging from digital platforms. So many arrive with high hopes, only to fade away within a matter of months after failing to hold the public's fickle attention. But this story is fundamentally different. Every single move made felt meticulously calculated, almost like a long-term game of chess that mainstream music observers completely failed to notice. Just when people thought her career had hit its absolute peak of digital stardom, a far more dramatic chapter was only beginning. This surprise did not merely involve a grand theatrical stage, but also a high-stakes international expansion. It all traces back to a difficult decision made years ago, a choice once viewed as the end of everything, but now proven to be the ultimate key to her greatest triumph. To fully grasp the magnitude of the massive leap taking place in 2026, we have to rewind the clock to the year 2018. Back then, a 14-year-old girl nervously stepped onto the stage of The Voice Kids UK. Wearing a simple dress with an innocent gaze, nobody anticipated that from that quiet demeanor would emerge a spectacular voice capable of stunning every judge in the room. Her audition propelled her smoothly all the way to the semifinals, making her one of the most talked-about contestants across social media. But as the competition neared its climax, fate took a sudden detour. Her journey came to a halt just before the grand finale, with the trophy awarded to another contestant. At that moment, critics and casual viewers quickly assumed her name would soon fade into obscurity, just like hundreds of reality show alumni crushed by the industry machinery. However, missing out on that final trophy proved to be the ultimate blessing in disguise that saved her career. The reality television industry is infamous for binding young winners into rigid, long-term corporate contracts that severely restrict creative freedom. Those contracts often force young singers into generic pop boxes completely mismatched with their authentic vocal character, all to chase quick chart profits. Free from the constraints of a winner's contract, this young singer possessed absolute liberty to pave her own path. She turned down offers from major parties attempting to reshape her singing style into commercial pop. Choosing to walk an unconventional road sparked deep concern among those around her. Without the multi-million-dollar backing of a giant record label conglomerate, building a music career from scratch felt like an impossible mission destined to fail. Instead of caving under mainstream industry pressure, a brilliant move was executed by forming an alliance with Cavendish Records, an independent label founded by a renowned former classical music executive. This partnership granted complete artistic freedom to focus on classical crossover and a musical territory often overlooked as unmarketable by modern major labels. Album after album was produced with meticulous precision, starting with Premiere and followed by successive releases like Encore, Timeless, Destiny, Beyond, all the way to Portrait. Each album offered crystal-clear vocal interpretations, elevating timeless stage classics to a level of vocal luxury rarely heard in today's hyper-commercialized music landscape. Yet, the absolute biggest catalyst that propelled her name onto the global stage stemmed from an exceptionally consistent digital content strategy. Simple video recordings of her performing iconic songs began spreading rapidly across the internet. When her rendition of Hallelujah went live, the public reaction spiraled completely out of control. Her pristine vocal clarity and remarkable breath control pushed that single video to tens of millions of views in record time. It didn't stop there. The addition of her younger sister, Thomas, in several home duet videos introduced a heartwarming family dynamic that audiences worldwide fell in love with. The natural vocal harmonies between the two sisters created magical moments rarely matched by any other artists. Her channel views crossed hundreds of millions of total plays, a breathtaking achievement that even major label stars struggled to match. Yet, right amidst the blinding light of digital success, skeptical voices began whispering among performing arts critics. Popularity on social media is frequently looked down upon by the traditional community. Purists hold firmly to the belief that singing into a quiet studio microphone is vastly different from performing live on a real theatrical stage. Inside a recording booth, a singer can perform endless retakes, rely on subtle audio enhancements, and sing without the intense emotional pressure of thousands of audience members sitting inches away. Many digital stars who attempted to transition to the stage suffered catastrophic failures because their vocals lacked the power to fill an auditorium, or because they lacked the acting depth required to bring a complex character to life. This exact cloud of skepticism hovered over her entire career trajectory. Even as her albums consistently topped classical charts across digital platforms, a massive question mark remained hanging in the air. Was that flawlessly perfect voice genuinely real, or was it merely the product of clever studio engineering? Could she handle the grueling schedule of live, where an actor must sing and act 8 times a week without suffering vocal fatigue? Heated debate raged across forums, until the year 2026 delivered a definitive answer that silenced every single doubter at once. The answer to that long-standing debate exploded in early 2026. In an official announcement that stunned the British world, Lucy Thomas was officially confirmed to star in the lead title role of a major new musical titled. Making the news even more astonishing, the production was set to open at the historic, right in the heart of London's world-famous West End. Landing a lead role on the West End represents the absolute pinnacle of achievement for any stage actor, a dream stage that typically requires decades of relentless auditioning for veteran performers to ever step foot on. The role itself was far from simple. She takes on the character of a young Irish girl fighting for her dreams against the rigid societal norms of Victorian times. The role demands an immense emotional range, dynamic physical staging, and exceptional vocal stamina to deliver dramatic solo numbers. To prepare for this monumental task, she underwent months of rigorous physical and dramatic training, determined to prove her talent was no digital illusion. When ticket sales opened, the public response was nothing short of overwhelming, shattering the old myth that traditional had no interest in stars born from social media. Yet, the biggest update of 2026 was far from over. Just as fans were absorbing the magnitude of her London debut, a second major bombshell dropped without warning. For years, international followers had flooded her social media comments with the exact same plea. When would she finally perform outside the UK? The long-awaited answer arrived in 2026 with the official announcement of her very first international headlining concert tour across mainland Europe. This represented a massive financial and logistical risk, as mounting international venue dates requires immense capital and a guaranteed, dedicated. 2 iconic venues were announced as the primary destinations for this international tour: the world-renowned Victoria Hall in Geneva, Switzerland, and the Imperial Conference Center in France. Securing such prestigious venues with legendary acoustics signaled just how serious the production team was about delivering a world-class musical experience. Taking the leap outside her UK comfort zone, to meet European fans face-to-face demonstrated immense confidence in her live vocal power. The explosive demand for international tickets proved that her musical appeal transcended language and cultural boundaries. But behind these grand stage performances and international tour dates, another independent strategy was quietly being deployed to revolutionize her relationship with her audience. Amidst grueling rehearsals and European tour preparations, another strategic was unveiled to reinforce her complete career independence. Alongside the release of new music in the form of her single Open Arms, a dedicated private community platform was launched to facilitate direct connection with her most devoted followers. Through this platform, listeners gained exclusive access to behind-the-scenes creative processes, unedited vocal takes, and direct interactions without having to pass through media filters or third-party gatekeepers. This business model demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of the modern music landscape. While many mainstream pop stars remain trapped under strict label contracts that control their release schedules, image, and personal lives, building a direct fan-supported ecosystem offers total financial and artistic freedom. This approach proves to aspiring artists worldwide that global success in the modern era no longer requires permission from traditional record executives. With raw talent, relentless work ethic, and an honest connection with listeners, an artist can build an enduring music empire completely on her own terms. The long journey that began with an early elimination on a television talent show has officially transformed into one of the most inspiring success stories in modern entertainment. Evolving from a quiet online video singer into a West End, leading lady and international touring act in 2026 is living proof that undeniable talent will always find its way to the top. She did not merely silence her critics. She redefined the entire blueprint for how an independent artist can thrive in the digital age. Now, as the historic echoes with her vocals and her European tour dates draw eager fans from across the continent, her future looks brighter than ever before. This success brings massive inspiration not only to her followers, but also to thousands of independent musicians striving to build a career independently. One thrilling question remains on everyone's mind. Will this massive West End triumph lead to a permanent home in musical, or is this just the launching pad for a full-scale global arena tour?